welcome to the Liverpool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch, and I'm joined here by a really interesting person that I met at the LLIB event, and I had to be proud of myself for getting that right because when I interviewed Claire Bowers, I kept getting it wrong. But either way, I'm joined by one of the entrepreneurs that were at the event, and I'm joined here by a storyteller with her own innovation project going on. And her name is Jude Lennon. How you doing, Jude?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for coming on board. As a writer myself, I very rarely, talk to other writers and everything. So that's just really good. But also, it's more than writing because it's like your project, which is all around you. Now, I did ask her to pick up this doll, but she didn't.
I'll do it now.
Once again, you're joined by...
This is Booksy, the mascot for Split Perspectives and Build a Book.
Yeah, I said it's kind of like Orville and everything. I'm not going to make it talk, but, it's like one of her many book characters that are within her series of books that she's going to tell us about and everything, because this is what I'm just fascinated by. It's not like I want you to just pick everything up, but, your project is Build a Book, but your organization is Split Perspectives.
Yes, Split Perspectives is the CIC, and the main projects that we run through that is Build a Book, featuring Booksy.
which also is one of those pandemic projects or one of those pandemic startup projects and everything, where like you and another person, Natalie, let's give her a full name because she'll be upset.
Yeah, Natalie Reeves-Billing and I, she's a fellow author as well. And I actually met Nat years ago because I was storytelling for a Halloween party she was doing for her children. And that's how we met. Yeah. And then we got back in touch and we said, this would be great. Let's do something creative together. And this was in February 2020. Then, of course, as we know, the world kind of stopped. And we're like, oh, okay, that was interesting. So, yes, so then the Build a Book creativity box, it started off as a pilot box. We just wanted to make sure that children were getting books and activities and games and fun stuff to do with families after a time when we've been bombarded with screen time.
It's more of a, bring families together through the analog tradition, of connection and stuff like that. Like you have this box and inside the box you have, books and puzzles and games.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had stationery as well and little pencil sets. So it was all about getting everybody in the family away from Zoom and Teams and everything else, and just sitting down and chatting together and playing together and having a nice time.
Well, that must have been hard. But you managed to create several of these, how should we call them, these literacy boxes.
Yeah.
And everything. So, how many up until now have you did?
We did the pilot box, then we did our creativity box, then we did our Boat of Hope box, we did our Eurovision pack, and now we're working on our Planet pack. So this will be the fifth one.
Right. Now, I planned on discussing some of these. I didn't know she was running down a list, but I would just have to tackle it as it comes along one at a time. So, first of all, Boat of Hope. I actually was... with a bunch of kids last summer, and we went to the park. I don't know which park, Liverpool's like that, and everything. And a Boat of Hope was there.
It's Garston, probably.
Yeah, and so Bernie, who traveled, tell us the story of the Boat of Hope.
Absolutely. So Bernie Hollywood OBE set himself a challenge, just a small challenge, that he was going to row across the Atlantic.
Was amazing.
It was, absolutely. And he wanted to solo row across the Atlantic to raise money for child mental health and suicide prevention in young people. And the boat was wrapped in artwork of children from across our city, secondary school children who'd been asked to draw what hope meant to them. And then alongside of that, Natalie had been asked to write a story about Bernie and Boaty, the boat, travelling that journey and the ups and downs that they travel on the way, mental health ups and downs as well as waves, ups and downs. And in our box, we then put in a competition to involve younger children, primary school age children, to get them to draw what hope meant to them. And that all ended up in an exhibition in the Anglican Cathedral. So it was a really lovely experience for children to see that their artwork had been displayed in this beautiful, iconic building in our city. You know, what an achievement for them. So, yeah, it was great.
But it's also got to be a great experience for yourself as a writer and storyteller because, like, you know, you've been writing all your life, as you said. But, you know, you spent a lot of time teaching.
Yeah.
You said, you know, it's kind of like me when I first started writing. And, you know, I would kind of like, you know, shyly put my, you know, stories up on the wall or sit next to it conveniently and see what people's reactions because I used to write little horror stories. But like you said, like people would just say, "Hey, that's pretty good. When are you going to publish?"
Yeah, and it's a strange thing because you write these things, and then somebody says, "Oh, you're going to actually do something with them," and it's like, "Oh, is that what I'm meant to do?" Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
just like writing.
Yeah, exactly. So it was. It's really lovely to work on projects. I mean, I write individually, so does Nat. We both write our own stuff individually, but for the Builder Book ones, we come together and we write together. So we're co-writers, which is a really lovely experience as well because you get a different dynamic in your writing then.
Tell us about your dynamic. What is that like?
Well, do you know what? We always have lots of fun when we're writing. We both like to write in rhyme, and yes, and it's fun that we can both sit there and go, that is the worst word we could have thought of to put at the end of that line. We can't end the word with orange because nothing rhymes with it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of just have to go back through. So we always find creative ways of making the rhyme work, but also add a bit of fun in as well. So it's not just, you know, the cat in the hat. With
Yeah. It would be kind of funny. It's like you write the first word and I write the second word, like the couplets and everything, you know, so that way it's really unique and stuff.
Yeah,
she's really giving me a hard one to rhyme with crime.
You know, funnily enough, we don't write like that. I know writers who co-write who do, and one will do one chapter, the next will do the next chapter, or one will do one character. But we don't. We literally sit in the room next to each other and just blah, 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 blah. That works. That doesn't. Let's write it, read it out again, see what works, and so we do it together completely.
Interesting process, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you know, obviously, well, you have a third person or third people involved because, like, you have illustrations.
Oh yeah.
So how is that working with the illustrator, or is there multiple illustrators?
Yeah, there's normally more than one illustrator on a project, and we also have a great designer as well, Dan, who does all the layout. So the layout is really important. Once we know the layout, the illustrators can get to work.
This is like a comic.
Yeah, or putting together a picture book. It's exactly that. So we're really, really lucky. We work with some really talented artists, many of whom are from Liverpool. They're not all from Liverpool, but many of them are from Liverpool. We try our best to sort of actively work with local talent and local creatives. So yeah.
You want to give somebody a shout out? Hey man, I'm down here with my paint and pencils and stuff like that. Anybody looking for any illustrators?
Well, we've got Hannah Jess, who's brilliant, Lisa Williams, Lisa Marie, brilliant.
You know how much
Vince Cleghorn,
being mentioned on this show?
Vince Cleghorn, who is a local author.
Vinny
And
Cleghorn's
I was going to
my
say, you
boy.
must know him,
You know, I was wondering, I was going to ask you, is Vinny down with this? Because it does look like some of his work. I love his work and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what inspired you to write, do you think? I mean, I know you said you go all the way back to being young and everything, but I guess I mean, like, in your present form, what inspired you?
What inspires me to write? I think I just love words. I love words. I love stories. And I think encouraging children to love words and stories and reading and writing is absolutely crucial because if you can teach a child to read, they can teach themselves anything. They can go anywhere. You don't have to leave your room to go travelling if you can read. You don't have to leave your room to learn stuff if you can read. And I think it really does open the doors of the world. And I think that for me is always going to be key. If I can encourage children to pick up books and be comfortable with reading and either have it as a form of escapism or as a friend or something that they can help to deal with a particular struggle they're having. Reading is just... Yeah, I could talk for hours about the importance of reading.
I mean, I think it's just fascinating because especially when it comes down to characters and choosing like characters for your stories and like, you know, like you like maybe one character takes over the story, but you have a set of characters.
Yeah.
Actually, a set of book bugs.
Yeah.
And everything, And I thought, I never get a chance to do this, but I've seen it done on shows before, and everything.
It's your Blue Peter moment.
It's my Blue Peter moment. You know what I mean? It's like these characters, these book bugs and stuff like that. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think, and the activity book that comes within their box. You know what I mean? And everything, and it's really nice.
Thank you.
And not only is it's nice, it's thick. I mean, a lot of work has gone into this and everything. So it's not just about, okay, we got through this in one night.
Yeah, no. It's a lot of work.
It's something that we could do, and I mean, when it comes down to family activities, I mean, there's more than one and stuff and everything, and
yeah,
this is really nice.
Thank you.
And I was gonna ask you, because when you say, yeah, I wrote this, I've been writing that, a lot of times it's like, well, what was that first? That first thing that you published thing, and what was your story? Was The Dragon of Allerton Oak?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that was
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I originally started off as an oral story. I was telling a literary.
Griot?
Say again?
Like a griot, like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Great memory for stories. Don't remember where I put my keys, but different parts of your brain. And the Reader organisation in Coldstones Park were having a festival, and they'd asked me to storytell. And I just made up this story about the Allerton Oak because I walked around it quite a lot, and I thought, oh yeah, that's an interesting tree. It looks really gnarled, and something's happened to it. I bet it was a dragon. Yeah, and I made up this story, and I told it at this event. And at the end of the story, a little boy said to me, "Are you going to put that in a book?" And I thought, well. There you go.
Seems to be the thing that everybody asks you, isn't it?
Yeah. So I thought, well, out of the mouth of babes. So that was the first book I did. So it'll always be very special.
Get it locally published? Or?
Yes. Yeah, local publisher did it. Beatles, Liverpool and More. So
what?
Beatles, Liverpool and More.
Beatles, Liverpool and More.
Yeah, they're a local publishing house, and they agreed to take that on, which was really great. So I've got used to doing the shout out bit now. You see, I know what I'm doing now with that.
Oh, you got to thank that person. You know what I mean?
So, yeah. And then from there, I've written all kinds of books about my storytelling mascots, Lammy and Flossie, and obviously about the bugs as well. So, yeah.
I mean, so these characters, see me, I love like ensemble characters, and I don't know if it was like I was a lonely child.
Oh.
But I had friends. What a team. But but I love reading those stories like Little Archie and Little Rascals and all that. So here you probably had like the Gang of Four, and all that.
Famous Five and everything.
Famous Five and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are your characters? Do you think are their inspirations like in that kind of gangship?
Well, I think you're right. They are in a gang. They are a friendship group, and they all have their own skills and their things that they bring to the group. So Bugsy is kind of the head guy of the construction site, but each of the bugs in his team are equally important. There's Barbara the butterfly, who encourages people to get out on their work breaks and enjoy nature. There's Bilal the bee, who runs the cafe on the work site, so he's very popular. Very popular guy.
Gotta eat.
Absolutely. And then we've got Bob the snail, who's got this magnificent shell with all these kind of
lazy.
gadgets. No, he's not. No, he's got all the kind of gadgets that help. Yeah, he's, we wanted to break that kind of stereotype. We've got Bonita the spider, who knits all the health and safety nets with her wonderful knitting arms. They're always busy.
Clever.
Yeah. So I've missed Barry, the caterpillar, who likes to play music for everybody. So he's all about well-being and chill and everything.
Yeah.
So they've all got their skill sets that they bring and their particular things that they bring. And in our planet pack, they all represent one of the pillars. So Bugsy is in charge of being sustainable in construction. Bilal's in charge of being sustainable in food. Barbara's sustainability in fashion, and so on. So they've all got their own thing that they're in charge of, that we want people to be more, or children to think about being more sustainable in these areas.
Jobs.
Say it again, sorry?
they also all got jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and everything, and
Yeah.
work is important. And
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
And maintaining the community.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
you would say, it's like creating the green city.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's
stuff,
exactly what we wanted to do with. So the book that's going to be going inside our Planet Pack, which is our current project, is called Booksy's Green City, and it's all about creating a green city that's maybe got living walls with and lots of natural things, so that the animals and the creatures can survive and thrive, which is what we want for everyone on planet Earth.
Exactly. And so, I mean, she's already named it as far as what it is that she's working on now, and looking for funding still, is the Planet Pack
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's just about, the sustainable planet, like from the inside, not from the outside.
Yeah, it is, and it's about making it understandable for children and not scary for children. We don't want to keep scaring them with all this, the
Not
world's.
like climate change is going to kill you
Yeah,
in a couple of years.
yeah, exactly. Because I think children, they're the future, and they've got to have something to hope for the future. If you scare them too much, they're not going to feel they've got hope. So the sustainability pillars, we want them to think about what they can do in their home, in their friendships groups, in their schools, in their communities to improve the environment around and about where they live in all of those areas. So we're looking particularly at food, fashion, energy, construction, innovation, recycling, transport. So they're all stuff that, are very tangible things for children to get involved with. And I think, even down to the simple thing of how do we recycle properly, because every borough around the country has its own system.
Yeah, they all have a different color to their bins.
Yeah.
But so when you you have another project around Eurovision, you were saying, but you said it as a team of freelancers. Is this team of freelancers still the book bugs? Or?
Yeah, we normally go back and use the same freelancers that we've used because we know them, they know us, we know how they work, they know how we work.
So what do you mean freelancers? You talking about the people that worked on the book?
So the artists, the designers, they're all freelance, yeah. And so Natalie and I are freelance as well, So we just come together at the time we need to get the work done and get it done. So yeah, the Eurovision part, it was great to be involved in the biggest party in the city. What an honour, brilliant. That was the shortest turnaround we've ever had from getting 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. And that was from getting funding and then going into production and creating and packing. Yeah.
And what was the final book called then?
It was just called the Eurovision, Our Vision of Eurovision. That was the final pack, and we delivered workshops across the city through MPAC, really, to community centres over the Easter holidays. So obviously in the lead up to Eurovision, and we do den building workshops with Booksy and the crew, but on that one they had to build a soundstage for Eurovision, not a den. So yeah.
Got to get those guys in there somewhere and everything. I thought what was interesting is this thing you called Puzzle Duck Digital.
Yeah.
The treasure hunt?
Yeah, that's going to be in the latest Planet Pack. We're really excited about it. So we've moved from a box because we used to have boxes, but being more environmentally aligned, we wanted to go with a pack because it was just more easily sustainable. And so inside the pack there'll be the book about the Green City, there'll be an activity book, there'll be some origami, there'll be a competition, which I'm sure you'll come back to in a minute, so I won't spoil it. And then we've also got the puzzle duck. Yes, so they're going to be a board game in there. So the bugs have to make their way around the board game. And then on the flip side of that, there's
like a mystery doll.
Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, there is a map of Liverpool, and Puzzle Duck are going to put like a digital treasure hunt. So again, children can go around the city, but it's going to be about. So if you take the bus rather than the train, which is the better for the environment? If you
like
walk,
Pokemon Go?
kind of. Mm. So yeah.
Nice. So you want to get that is done. You want to get Planet Pack done, but you want to hopefully get that ready by April, right?
Yeah, hopefully yes.
Yeah. If we fund it.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yes, please. Already you had several other organizations supporting you and everything else like that, like MPAC, as you mentioned a couple of times, One Nose League, Co-op, I thought that was really good. You know, like when people buy, they can like choose who to fund and stuff like that. But also do is like, you know, you have a summer fun day coming up.
Well, hopefully that's what we'd like to do this time. We always have the packs that go out. We normally do workshops as well, whether they're in schools or in community centres.
Yeah.
But this time we'd really like to do a fun day.
This is with the Planet Pack.
Yeah, with the Planet,
Ready.
and so we'll have an sort of activity station. So there'll be a recycling activity, a food activity, a construction activity, so that children and families can experience all of those throughout the fun day. So that's something we like funding to go towards this time, and then obviously we'll end up with the exhibition as we always do at the end. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
Now, there's also, you know, a competition coming up, like
Yeah.
she said, and everything. That this will hopefully be coming around October, November next year. But you know, no harm in sharing it now because
No,
obviously
absolutely.
what you share, you do this one interview. And
Yeah.
You share the interview.
Yeah.
You know, like so basically, you know, it's again like these packs, but it's about sustainable innovation. The last one was at a look at that, man. Only this.
The Anglican.
Thank you. Last one was at the Anglican Cathedral, but this one's going to be at Shakespeare North.
Yeah.
So that's big.
Yeah.
Right. So tell us about the competition.
Yeah, so inside the pack, there's a competition that we're asking children to create a sustainable innovation. So it can be whatever they like. They can send in drawings, they can take photographs of something they've made. It can be a sustainable piece of clothing, it could be a sustainable food, it could be a sustainable construction equipment. It's whatever they want, really, but we're encouraging children to really think creatively, sustainably, but with innovation as well. And all the children will send in their entries, and then what we would like to do is maybe have between 6 and 10 of the entries actually put to manufacture and actually made, and they will form part of the exhibition. But all the children's ideas and the entries to the competition will be displayed in some way or shape at the exhibition space at Shakespeare North, and we are very, very thankful for their sort of partnership on this with us. They, for allowing us to use their wonderful space. So if you've not been to the theatre, go. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, you got a lot of stuff in line, but obviously, with all of the work that goes into these projects and packs, these bosses, you're putting out the request for support. Where could people support you? Like, so where could they find you online?
Yeah, we've got our website is builder-book.com. You can find us there. But the best thing is if you are a member of the co-op and you've got your loyalty card, the best thing is to go on to your membership and choose Perspectivz CIC as your cause, and then Split Perspectivz CIC. It's under the young people category, and then every time you shop and use your card, that will automatically put a little bit of money into that community fund for us. So that would be an amazing thing. If everyone could do that, that would be brilliant. But if there's anyone watching this who's maybe in a company who think, do you know what, we'd like to get behind that, please get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you.
And other people you want to hear from.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who thinks they would like to support us, obviously, funding from the local authorities, because we're going to be delivering these across the Liverpool City region. So anybody from Liverpool, Sefton, Wirral, Holton, St Helens, Knowsley, who wants to put in some funding, we would be absolutely over the moon, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic, dear Jude. And, even though we're coming down to the end, I would be remiss if I couldn't notice and speak about, wait a minute, hold on for a second. Her name is Jude Lennon. I'm in Liverpool. Is there a connection?
Yes, there is a connection. My dad's grandfather and John's grandfather were brothers. So I think I'm some kind of third cousin. It's not changed my life.
Second or fifth,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's just his legacy, isn't it?
Yes,
And everything like that. You're within your own power, your own right, your own skill set. But, I don't know how many times you must have been asked the question. because I only just came into the room and I said, "Hey, Jude." And she said, "Yeah, I never heard that before." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, I wasn't even thinking."
Yeah, we could fund the Planet Pack if I had £1 for every time someone had said that to me.
Yeah, well, look at that thing. All right, so, but I would like to thank Jude Lennon, and obviously our writing partner was supposed to be joining us. So I'd like to also thank Natalie Billings.
Yeah,
It's
thank
a
you.
double barrel.
Natalie Reeves Billing, yeah, that's right.
Natalie Reeves Billings. Sorry you missed the comedy team that we had going on here. But either way, you're a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Along with Booksy and Lammy, Miss Lammy, and everything else like that. So, but thank you, Jude, for
Thank
joining me
you.
here in the studio. If you like this, please like and subscribe. But mainly comment, let people know like what you think and how can I support this thing. Maybe you could be in the next story.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Until then, we out of here.